During this demonstration of the importer, I'm going to extract data from a SQL Server database, do some transformation, then load the data into an analysis services database. I'll use a direct connection to the source database. However, you can just as easily connect to any existing views that you may have. Then I'll create the analysis service database and connect to it. Once the connections are established, I'll define 3 dimensions. The first will be a customer dimension with 3 levels and 1 attribute. The second will be a dealer dimension. The dealer dimension will be an unbalanced dimension with corporation and regions. All regions will have dealers, but some regions will also have territories with dealers. For the third dimension, I'll use the time wizard to create a time dimension with years, quarters, and months. So let's get started. I'll start by creating a new connection to the source database. This will be an OLEDB connection, and we're going to connect to a SQL Server database. I'll define the name of the server and then select the database. Next, I'll select the dialect, which will be Transact SQL for the SQL Server. And now that the connections are made, we can see the tables and views that are available. If necessary, we can connect to an additional database or flat file. Next, I'm going to create the multi-dimensional database, and we'll use the Cubeware for SQL Server 2005. I'll enter the server name, and I'm going to create a new native client database. I'll call it Demo. Then I'm going to create the new analysis services database, and I will also call it Demo. For analysis services, we want to use the explicit modeling mode. Next, we're going to start creating dimensions, and there's 3 steps to creating the cube. The first will be the defining of the dimensions. So we'll start with the first dimension, which will be a 3-level customer dimension with 1 attribute. And we're going to rebuild this dimension on every new load. Next, we'll define the attribute. The attribute is going to be the customer number and the customer name. I'll call it ID and name. Then we're going to define the other levels of the dimension. The first one will be the country level, and the bottom will be the customer level. Now we need to define a mapping. The mapping will be the customer mapping, and we will create a result set using the source database. We'll select the customer table from the source database. And then we'll select the customer number, the customer country, and the customer name. And now we have defined the result set. Next, we'll create the target object. In this case, we'll call it customer, and we'll connect it to the customer dimension. So we're going to link now the country to the country, the customer number to the customer name to the display name. But now we're also going to create a string expression object to concatenate the customer number and the customer name. So we'll link the 2 fields, the input fields, to the helper object, and the output field to the attribute. We'll now do the concatenation with the customer number space customer name. And that will complete the mapping for the customer dimension. We'll close that and move on to the next dimension, which will be the dealer dimension. The second dimension will be an unbalanced dimension for the dealer table. This dimension will have the top level plus regions, and every region will have dealers within it. But some regions will also have territories, and the territories will have dealers within them, therefore creating an unbalanced dimension. So we'll start by creating the mapping. Again, we're going to connect to the source database that we have defined previously. And we're going to choose the set ID, the parent, and the child. The set ID we want to eliminate, or I'm sorry, we want to keep only the CC automobile entries within that table. And we do not want any parents that are blank. We'll create a parent-child target object and call it dealers. We'll connect that to the dealer dimension. Once we've created the target, we simply connect the parent to the parent and the child to the element. We'll save the mapping. And in this case, we're going to execute the mapping immediately.